Welcome to another episode of the Glint Standard. Okay, so Miriam, the last few episodes have been some other people.
Yes, I like how you say other people.
And I think it's time for us to come back.
Yeah,
to
we
the
need to come
fold.
back. Yeah,
To come back to the fold, and offer in our opinions. And
I know we're
things.
missed.
Yeah. So we're back. And it's gonna be great. What we're talking about today is just this whole back to school shift. Don't you feel like it's gotten worse in recent years? Just how people have been, it's all about, buying the clothes. Or when I was little, 100 years ago.
Not 100 years.
It was about like getting, shopping for your clothes and
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff. But now it's even bigger and the hustle is even more so.
Oh yeah. Well, because it's more than just the preparing and getting the essentials. Now it's like it's kind of going into what we're talking about, but it's a whole mind shift, right?
Yeah,
it's a whole just habit shift too, because like
It's true.
I have a high schooler, and this even before school starts.
Yeah.
We are already mentally prepping because, 2 weeks prior to even school starting, we got to be up at 5 a.m.
That's
for
right.
for practices, so it's like, it's just from 0 to 100. I mean,
Yeah.
from 1 week to the other, just right back to the grind.
Yeah. And so your attention is just like pulled.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
It's
everywhere.
completely pulled. And I will say, I don't know if this will stop, so this is probably not good advice to tell you, but Trevor's a junior in college, and it's still the mind shift.
Yeah.
And it's still,
yeah.
It's still crazy. But anyway, it's hectic. It's crazy. So you guys, today what we really want to talk about is how do you take the attention span, or the little attention spans that people have, and translate that into good content creation for your marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like these are things we talk about all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Just as we're sitting around the table, how to capture people's attention spans, and really try to maximize the time that people spend looking at your ads or your copy or whatnot. And then really being mindful of people's times and the hectic nature of what people are doing.
Well, I mean, in all of the craziness, I think what we have to remember is that in all of the chaos and all of the craziness that you have going on your day-to-day basis, like your phone or just getting online is your little escapism, right? It's your, if you're good, a little 15-minute break. I say if you're good because sometimes,
Yeah.
Doom scrolling is a real thing, right? So how do you get yourself in the doom scroll, right? How do you like fit your content and your marketing in that,
to be a part of that dopamine list.
Yes, because that's exactly what it is, right?
Yeah.
And so that's people's safe place, right?
Yeah.
It's just like when everything around you is just like loud, it's like, okay, I mean, not that going to social is not loud, but like going to your phone is almost just going into your own little safe space that you've built through your algorithm, through your, in your For You pages. And it's like, I think about mine, like my Facebook one is so different from my Instagram one, which is so different from my...
Y'all, I don't think I can make it in here. Jake, I don't think I can make it in here.
From my Snapchat one.
It is too hot.
You need some air?
I do, but then that's too loud.
You're gonna need this as a soundbite right here. Jake, I don't think I'm gonna make it, Jake.
This makes me feel better.
I don't know. I was saying how everything, how all your For You pages are different on your different platforms.
Oh, and we were talking about the dopamine.
Yes.
So your dopamine menu has to be pretty solid. So how can marketers get on that dopamine menu and make sure that their content is being noticed?
Yeah.
And then looked at. Yeah, I think that's really important. So there's this stat, and you know what? I really love to talk about sources, but I don't have one for you. But so we're just going to go off of what it is. And y'all, Miriam loves the sources, so I'm sorry. But it says that readers give an average of 29 seconds of engaged time on articles. What do you think about that?
See, and that's articles. So I will.
It's got to be less on.
I can give 29 seconds to an article.
Yeah.
Because that means that you've already, the headline caught your attention. You've already probably clicked through one or two things, right? Because a lot of times it's those cookies. It's like you've already clicked. You know what I mean? So so if I will give them 29 seconds. If you're thinking about the whole flow of initial view to like getting that far, yes. And you might read like a paragraph or two. Depending on how long they are. And then and then you're probably like, all right, I got what I needed. And then you'll go back, to whatever. So I can give 29 seconds.
Okay.
Right? And again, like I would say that think of our flow when we post about, our blogs or we post that for our clients. It's like once you've got somebody hooked on the headline, the countdown begins right there. Yeah. Right? The start time is right there, and it's like, how long can I get you to click through? Right? It was what the call to action really that much of a calling.
I've heard somebody say you have a 3-second decision time. 3 seconds. That's it. To catch their attention.
Yeah, because I mean,
whether
you're just
content or whether that's like copy or whether that's visual. 3 seconds. It's not a lot of time. But anyway, well, I love talking about this because I'm a big fan of writing like a journalist. I say it a lot. But I think it's even more relevant nowadays than it was when I learned about it 25 years ago, but it's the inverted pyramid. I mean, you have got to put the punch in the first sentence, and then you've got to earn somebody reading to the second sentence. I mean, just quickly. So the first punch is not building a story.
No.
We're not telling a story. You're not sitting down with your child and reading Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And then you get to the climax and then you come down. No, it's at the very beginning.
No, the days of letting your caption do the talking are long gone. Are long gone, right? And if we talk about going back to people taking all this information in or really getting to you via, social media or whatever it may be, that's on their phone. Right? So I know you put another nice little stat. That about 67% of visits come through phones, right? Because it's the most accessible, right? It's what you have right at your fingertips. And so with that, you have to make sure that you want to put that meat of everything, right? Just like the journalist approach, as you were saying, like the meat of it, that's your caption. If you really want to give them a little bit more, that's it, right? The link to maybe then give them even more if they're really that engaged. But you have 3 seconds to tell somebody in a graphic, because now your graphic is really where it's at, right? Is you get a headline / title of what it is that you're trying to say, what message you're trying to convey. Am I trying to entertain you with this? Am I trying to educate you with this? Am I trying to redirect you, right. to a sale? Right? Is that what I'm trying to do? And then I may get about 2 sentences of a snippet. And when I say sentences, I'm being very like loosely, right? But maybe like two valid points of like why whatever topic I'm talking about is important to you, right? How this relates to you. And at those 3 seconds, you decide, do I want to read more in the caption? And then I've got you, right? And that's all I've got. But that's really where you need to start. And it's, again, short attention span, doom scrolling. So it's like, you got to get it just like that. I was thinking about how you're talking about the visuals, and that's really important. And I'm talking about the copy. It all comes together for all different types of channels. I mean, we're talking about social. We're talking about email. We're talking about landing pages, just your website. When people come to your landing page, you don't have what they need to see up front, then you can forget it. That's why they always say to put like forms early in your landing page so that you can capture those leads pretty quickly. And then you add all of your proof and all of your context. So it's kind of that backwards thinking. It's a lot of times people will state the problem first and then they'll state the solution
But now you better put that solution.
Well, because everybody knows
right there.
Everybody knows what they're going to you for. Do you know what I'm saying? Like everybody, if I've clicked so far, it's because I know, right? Don't tell me click here to, you know, buy something, or click here to do this action, and then it's just like, I can't do that.
Right.
So then now I don't trust you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't trust what you've put out there. I don't trust the story that you've told me in those 3 seconds that I had to make a decision. Now I'm just like, oh, it's a waste of my time. It's too much. It's not what they were saying. Move on.
So what do we do? There are a lot of people that are wordy.
Oh, yeah.
I can be wordy. I mean, I do love to, you know, see my writing.
A wordsmith, yes.
You know, but what do we tell people and marketers who can kind of lean to that side? What can we tell them?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. We're not going to sit here and say like, oh, there's something wrong with it. But just there's a time and a place.
Yeah.
Right? And you, again, it's like you've been saying, it's where do I finally get to that point, right? Where do I finally have the right people, or not even the right people, but the people that actually are wanting to find that information?
Right.
And where am I getting the people that are just like a little lukewarm and maybe don't quite know? And I'm thinking more of the, you know, when we're maybe promoting a product or a service for like a financial institution, right? Everybody has a service and maybe they're like, let me see what this one's about, right? They might get engaged, see the graphics, see a video, see something, and that'll call their attention, but that doesn't mean that they're wanting to get everything.
Yeah.
And be overwhelmed at that point, right? Because at that point, they're just like, oh no, have to read that? No.
Right.
Never mind. I don't want that.
And that's when a good lead nurturing system or sequence comes into, because then you take them down a path and you give them bite-sized information in each path, and that often works really well.
I've heard the term breadcrumbing.
Yes. And then that CTA, that call to action, has got to be someplace that's noticeable. I think that's part of one of those upfront things. You definitely want to tell people how you want them to react. Up front. I think it's really easy, or it's something that we definitely need.
Oh yeah.
What would you say in terms of design? Like if you were constructing an ad or a post or even short form video.
Yeah.
What would be must-haves?
Oh, okay. So I would first off say you have to think about everything. And that sounds overwhelming, but I say everything. Like, let's take, for instance, I mean, a graphic, we kind of went over. It's a little more simple in the sense of, like, just have a very clear idea of what it is that you're trying to do, right? Engage, entertain, educate. What are you trying to do? And once you have that, then just pick the relevant topic related to the brand and start to tinker with the words, right? And see where you can really get that messaging right. And again, think about it, because once that graphic is created and it's repurposed, when you reshare that to a story, you're not going to see the whole caption. You are only going to see the image. So if your brand isn't on there, if you are not clear with what you're trying to sell or what you're trying to say, then the story is mute. Right? It's mute in every sense. Now, if we think about a short form, right? Again, think about everything. And when I say everything is how is this going to be used? A lot of short form, we want to repurpose everything as much as we can. The algorithm loves that. Don't forget your thumbnail, right? Is your thumbnail relevant, or is it enough to like engage or grab somebody, right? Because what do we do when we get a video that we really like? We instantly share it. And if somebody sends me a video and I see the thumbnail and I'm like, oh, what that is, I'm not gonna really want to see it right off the bat, right? So that's definitely one thing you want to think about. If there's any text in your video, right, make that clear, make that direct, because you don't
have a lot of time.
Yeah, you don't. And then going back to like another little stat that you gave, because you gave so many good ones. But roughly 74% of Facebook videos get watched without sound. So remember that. So even like, let's say
I'm
you...
guilty.
Yeah.
I'm so guilty.
But like, let's say you're like, oh, I love this trend. The sound is so great. And then it's just like, okay, cool. But nobody's listening to the sound. So then what else is in your video, right? So if it is... I love, like, I think we've done like this or that videos here, right? Even if with the sound off, even if it doesn't have any, everything it's clear. Message. You know exactly what it is. And I know that sounds so basic, but it really is what it is. It's just that. So think about the text inside. Think about the thumbnail for presenting. Think about how long it is, right? And then always be mindful that if it is something that is going to be wordy, like if it is an actual like message or something that you're trying to sell, that the closed caption thing is available, right? Yeah. We want to make sure, right? And most apps will automatically do it, but the clearer the language is, the easier it is for it to pick it up.
That lasting impression is really important. Yeah. Well, it's funny because yes, the stats that I pulled have to do a lot with social.
Yeah.
Because social is where we really see where people's attention spans are very, very limited. And then it's also, if we're talking about back to school and hectic schedules, and it's where people are getting their news.
Yeah.
It's where people are getting their updates on their communities. And so it's a really good channel to follow in terms of how you capture people's attention and how you use what you learn from social in other channels.
Yeah.
It somewhat works.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, like, let's say you see an ad, right? And again, like, you see an ad, I think of like the financial institutions that we help, the credit unions that we do ads for. You see their ad, and then you are kind of like, I don't know what they're about, and you go to their social just to kind of like, well, let me see, right? And you're able to really see the credibility, their resources, their just with the very really quick
because
scroll
it's all
through
based on scrolling,
because it's all and like I don't even have to go into every single picture. I can get a good idea based on what you've posted, what each little graphic says, right? Because you have this little bitty screen, right? And that's where you're trying to make sure that everything stands out.
And it's so I'm going to relate it back to writing and copywriting, and let's just talk about press releases and media pitches. So the difference between each one. A media pitch is something that's quick. I hate the word clickbait, but somewhat clickbaity.
It is clickbait. Everything is clickbait.
And it's alerting you to something that's coming on in the future, or an event, hoping that media will be able to go, whatnot. Your press release can be done before or post event, and it's really kind of helping those reporters out so that they get all of the information up front. Ideally, you want to give them everything so that they don't have to manipulate it too much.
Yeah.
But in that media pitch, I mean, I love doing the media pitches because if you really think about it, that's probably going to get most of the readership than a press release.
Yeah.
Because people are not going to sift through prior to an event and read all of the information. Now, it's perfect for after an event and wanting to get placement, but that media pitch is really good for before an event so that people can see and they've got the who, what, when, and where. So I guess what I'm saying is if you don't know what to do in those first sentences, who, what, when, where.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same approach for graphics.
Don't build a story, nobody cares.
Yeah, it's the same thing for the graphics. Like when we do, Parker that has all of the events, right? Make sure it's clear, who's there, what time they got to be there, if there's any restrictions, if they need to buy tickets, if it's a free to the public event, like all of that has to be there. And it's just like, okay, if that's enough to get you, then you're going to look at the rest.
Yeah. So, and again, in this busy season, I mean, we're going to slow down again during the holidays.
Are we?
But I don't know. And then
you say that, but
then I warned you. I have to say one last thing before we wrap up and talk about or kind of summarize what we talked about. But if there are any teachers listening,
oh God, yes.
Any educators, that are listening, just be mindful of emails that you send to parents. Parents love to be informed. I was one of those parents. I love being informed. But it's all about placement.
Yeah.
Where you put some of the information. Lead with things that are important.
Yeah.
And particularly action items. And then place other things after that.
Or I mean, that can be just like general advice for everybody.
Okay. Yeah. Even in an email.
Yeah. Because even as like, I'm pretty sure teachers would probably say the same thing about parents.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, cool.
They would say.
You know what I mean?
That's a very good
so,
point.
and
They
you know,
would.
and I could probably say that about some people.
Where
Where it's just like, can you like get to the point? Like, because again, we've got a million things going on. We've got kids in schools. We've got, you know, who knows how many clients going, you know, conversations
other
going, other, you know, home responsibilities, family responsibilities, just all kinds of responsibilities. Yeah, just to the point, please. That's where we're at. And it's not to be like rude about it or anything like that, but it is where we're at. It's just like, get to the point, because the quicker we can get to the point, the quicker we can either come to a solution, you know, figure out if this is a problem we can fix, whatever it may be.
Time is money.
But
time is money.
Okay.
Time is money. So wrapping it all up, I guess the first thing is just make sure you start with the solution and not the problem.
Yep.
Start with the solution, then have everything else coming with it that supports it. Visually, make sure your headline is something that is really appealing. I always like to think of the golden rule, and that's also just how you treat people. Treat people as you would like them to treat you.
Yeah.
So if there's something you resonate with, try to think about how you can apply that to how you're reaching out to your target audiences. You want to make sure your graphics are appealing and everything is really clear. And then you definitely want to have a call to action.
Always.
Letting people know what they need to do with this piece of information. And I love what you said about, you know, your graphics for stories just on social. Nobody's reading the caption.
No, it doesn't even show up. It doesn't. You might get like maybe the first line if you, depending on how you set it to post, but no. No.
And then, gosh, what else am I trying to think? Just at the end of the day, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. So, you know, who is your target audience? What are they dealing with? Are they busy? Are they hectic? Are they trying to manage 10 different things at one time? And then do what you need to do accordingly.
Yeah.
Or as my husband says, govern yourself accordingly.
I love that.
I know that's very like military.
Yeah,
but it's
very
true.
James.
It's very James. But govern yourself accordingly.
Yeah,
and and that's really it. And then sometimes you might need a partner to help you do that because you're so close to things or you're so into it, and so you need to consult with someone else, you know, to make sure that you're doing what you need to do on that front.
Yeah.
But that's really, I think those are the key takeaways, especially for a hectic, busy season. But I think really the big takeaway is that the hectic, busy season is all the time.
It's all the time.
It's all the time.
Listen, it's
I don't know.
And if you're a parent, it's nonstop.
Yeah.
It's nonstop.
And in marketing, the messages are just coming at us like in all different directions, and you know, and so you really have to kind of get through the chaos and provide some stillness in the chaos.
Yeah.
So anyway. Well, we thank you for listening and listening to us talk about how to write, how to construct things visually. You can watch our podcast anywhere on any social media platform, and then you can always visit our website at glintadv.com. You can find our latest podcast. But we enjoyed it, and thanks for joining me.
Always. Anytime.
Okay, thanks. See y'all.
Thanks for watching the latest episode of the Glint Standard. If you're enjoying the podcast, please subscribe here. You can watch additional episodes here.